Good morning, Paige.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. We are back live with you all once again. Thank you so much for your patience as we are finding our way in through the energy of Mercury retrograde. I am so grateful for the messages and lessons that retrograde offers me every time.
As much as you feel like you're prepared for it, you think, okay, I know how to handle it this time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But it's
Get
all
thrown
in
for a
divine
loop.
order.
I was
It's
almost like,
all
I
in
didn't
divine
expect
order.
that to happen. Hmm.
Indeed, indeed. So we are here to step into discussion about the goddess of the week, Oshun.
Oshun. We're not having a problem pronouncing her name.
I love our explorations with each of these goddesses because it opens up our awareness to even more than just what their energy is and what they're teaching us, but also to other language.
I know, right? Learning our Chinese and our
Mhm.
African.
Mhm. Mhm.
Although, I mean, Oshun being kind of the goddess of flowing waters, I guess we
Mhm.
could call her Ocean if she
Oh,
really so
absolutely,
wanted to.
absolutely. Well, and derived from. If
Yeah,
we were to look into that, that might be an interesting exploration as
yeah,
well.
healing waters and generosity and what the
Mhm.
bounty that the ocean and the waters give us.
Yeah, yeah.
Although she's more of a river goddess, but she's universal like all of these other goddesses, really.
Absolutely.
That the energy shows up in different names and different forms, but
Mhm.
Oshun chose to come to us this week. And I
Yeah.
think it's really well, they're always right on divine timing because it's something that we're
Mhm.
experiencing, right? And I think we're
Yeah.
entering into this time of we're thinking about giving. We're coming up in
Mhm.
November and we've got Thanksgiving coming up, and just how do we want to be generous?
Yeah.
How do we want to give? This is kind of, we're entering in that time of gift giving, shall we
Mhm.
say.
Mhm.
And
And gift giving isn't always
no,
physical gifts. It's the gifts of
no,
our time.
exactly. And how important I think we've learned in these past few months about giving of ourselves and giving of our
Yeah.
time and all that, because we have been so restrictive in that,
Yeah.
uh, what do we want to call it, just being with each other and doing things
Mhm.
for one another.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
these are strange times, right? And then you and I were talking.
Or these are times
Well,
of great awakening. These are, this is the
yeah,
time of such abundance of opportunity that the divine has invited into our lives, and
right.
having this uh, gratitude for that is something that I have definitely been working and aligning in my own life. And I
Yeah,
think that
yeah.
Oshun is really talking to us um, about that ability to be giving, even in the midst of what feels like lack. So many of our households are their jobs are being eliminated, or um, industries are not able to operate.
Mhm.
I know we experienced that in our household, um, with my husband being a full-time musician. That's a whole industry that is on pause right now, and so I believe the message of Oshun has been really important to my heart, And it was very important to my heart from the day that we had to close things down. And we went into 5 months of karma yoga, just creating opportunities and spaces for people to be able to receive some form of pause in this pause.
Mm-hmm.
And so as I was reading her message this week and working this magic, it has really been affirming my truth, which was that I wanted to be of service to anyone that felt called to receive that gift of pause.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. I didn't realize how much emotion was going to come up with that, which I invite. But I think that that's exactly what her message is here, is that I could have sat in a place of feeling like, oh, I don't have enough and not given of my heart. But my heart, from the moment that we shifted, went into what can I do to be of service to our community, to our world. And I think that is a very clear representation of what I received from Oshun's messages around generosity. Is that it's in that just getting out of the ego's space and into spirit's guidance, just following my heart, following divine guidance that's in my heart.
Yeah, exactly. And it's an important time for people to awake to the idea that there is enough, that we don't have to think in lack, where our ego wants to hold on to whatever we have left, because who knows where any more is coming from. And I was thinking of the law of reciprocity: what we sow, so shall we reap. In physics, it's you put energy out there and it comes back. And it's just all kind of a circulation there. People, those who follow the idea that abundance is that you have to think an abundance and it comes to you. And honestly, people have researched happiness, and the people who seem to live the happiest lives are the ones that have very little and give it all. If you come to a tribe or some place where the people are super poor in a way we would think, but they're giving you everything. They're giving you the last plate of food that they have, because that's their nature, and they're happy to share, because whatever little that they have, when they share it, they feel like I have something to give. And then,
I came across this video yesterday, and it's one that's been around for a long time, but it just circulated back into my awareness. And of course, it's circulating back into my awareness just as we're working with this goddess. And it was these children that were low income, and that they were with brothers and sisters, I think is the group that they were working through. And they had these videos where they asked them, what would you like for Christmas? What would you like to give your parents for Christmas? And then they would come in and they would have both items that the child had said, the item for the parent and the item for them. And then they asked them, which one, you have to choose one, which one will you choose? And every single one of those children chose the one for the parent. And they asked them why, and their answers were relatively the same, which was, my mom, my dad does so much for me that this is what I should do. This is what I want to do.
Right.
Ultimately, they gave them both of the gifts, but the reality is to see these responses of, recognizing the value of the energy and the time that they were given from their parents, that their hearts were like, I absolutely will do for my parent, because they have done for me without abandon. And as a parent, having a child that's just now entering adulthood, and our relationship is transforming, and it's becoming more easeful, because there's this understanding that, you know, he's got to figure himself out and I have to let him do that. And so because I'm taking more of my hands off and just being more of a kind of a coach along versus a,
Mhm.
you know, this is the direction you need to go and this is why you need to go that direction as the parent, right?
You
To
become more of a
observe,
consultant. You're in the
yeah,
consultant
right,
phase
right,
now of parenthood. Mhm.
yeah, to observe his gratitude, right? His gratitude for the impact of my tutelage over his lifetime, right? So I'll share the story about that, and it was this awareness that I didn't have until someone externally shared with me their observation. So Bryce has been working at the school in the front office and the attendance office for a period each day. And I called him out of class a week ago, and she was like, "Oh, you're taking him again?" Because I was speaking to the attendance person that he works for. And I was like, "Oh, you know, we just have some things that have to get taken care of, yada, yada." She was like, "He is such a lovely young man. He's such a good kid. And he just loves you and talks about how you are his greatest and best supporter and how you help him figure things out." And I was like, you know, and you're just like, wow. And
Mhm.
I know that that's with my child and there's a sense of responsibility for that, but that was that just trusting that everything that I'm doing, everything that I'm pouring into this child without expectation of return from him has resulted in this beautiful, you know, experience. And we've been told throughout his whole lifetime what a wonderful young man he is and how, you know, he's just a good kid. And we really, you know, part of that has nothing to do with me,
Mm-mm.
has everything to do with his heart and who he is. And so that's what I do, is I remind him to move from his heart. And that's what Oshun is asking us, is to move from our hearts, to give of ourselves without needing anything in return. And that when we do that, even whenever it feels like we don't have enough, even when it feels like things are tight or heavy, and it's not always financially that we have to give. It's of our time, it's of our love, it's of our support. It's maybe it's even just a passing glance in a grocery store, that
Mhm.
gift of joy that you're sending through a smile or through supporting someone. Like I remember I was sitting in the car one day and this woman was walking up with her walker. And so I jumped out of my car and went and opened the door. And she was like, "You got out of your car to open the door." And I was like, this is
Mhm.
just what I felt like doing. And I'm not sharing these stories as a, you know, oh, look what I've done. It's just really more, I've been witnessing within myself, how have I experienced Oshun in my own life?
Right.
And there was a period of time where I can honestly say that I felt the opposite of generosity. I felt lack. I felt worrisome. I felt like there's never enough. And it has been an active, intentional practice of shifting my mindset to an abundance belief structure instead of a lack mentality.
Mhm.
So my journey with Oshun this week has really been more in gratitude for the experiences I had where I felt lack, and then learned to be grateful for every little bit that I had, because that was more than someone else had. And then I gave of myself to those people, because I recognized that the more I gave of myself, the more abundance I experienced in my life, the more joy, the more love. And
Right.
I'm definitely in a mindset right now of, okay, how can I live on as little as possible? Because I just want there to be more ease in my life.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it, the the less I have, I kind of joke around it, it's the less I have to dust and clean and, and
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
care of and all that. And my simplicity is really topmost of my mind right now, because right
Yeah.
now we're going through even more house construction, and everything
Yeah.
is even more
Yeah.
in such array that I had, when I got the kitchen counters, everything done, I had just beautiful counters, and I said, nothing goes on these counters,
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
And it, just because there's space doesn't mean you have to fill it with stuff. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
beautiful just as it is with this
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
So I've been really cognizant of that. And you know what kind of made me think of the danger in thinking in this generous spirit? You know, you had said giving away, not expecting to receive
Yes.
something. And
Yes.
we can kind of go into the over giving of our time and the
Yeah.
doing for
Yeah.
people. And we think that we're doing it to not get something in return, but you know, some of
Mhm.
our
Mhm.
codependencies
Mm.
tendencies sometimes kick
Mm.
in for some
Yeah.
people, I don't know, where you're doing things and you know, eventually you think, well, somebody's got to recognize me for this, you know. And you don't,
Mm.
and you
Yeah.
or you just
Mhm.
give,
Mhm.
thinking, and then you don't, you run out.
Yeah. And I think that that's our messenger, right? So we talk about everything being part of the spiritual journey. So even in those moments where we have given too much of ourselves, and then we're feeling depleted and we're feeling frustrated and we're feeling all of these energies that are not in alignment with what our true desires, our true authentic
Mm-hmm.
heart is, then we have the opportunity to say, okay, what can I let go of? And
Mm-hmm.
that's actually something that was popping in my head as we were talking here, is then there's an opportunity for giving to someone else who needs that something that you have, whether it's time, energy, or an actual physical item or money,
Mm-hmm.
because then that gifts them abundance. And that's a really powerful energy to be cultivating, is recognizing that whenever we give of ourselves unconditionally,
Mm-hmm.
we are creating abundance in the world as a whole. We are creating abundance in the collective. We are affirming that that state of receptivity and being in a state of receiving always. Like, how magical is that? Is to realize, wow, look, that's that's part of our magic right there. This gift of how do I share with others things that either I just feel intuitively to do, or that, like, as we're saying, okay, I don't need all of these things. It's just holding space in my life that's actually becoming stagnant. So the practice of giving, you know, to Goodwill or giving to a charity, things that no longer have a purpose in my life and are just holding up space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm also thinking kind of in these times where we've got a lot of people that are feeling disenfranchised, and their voice is not being heard, and they're the forgotten ones, and sort of, and I feel like in giving, I can give voice to some of those people
Mm-hmm.
that can't speak for
Yeah,
themselves, they can't
absolutely.
advocate for themselves, and that is to be of service to somebody or a group of people in that way
Yeah,
really is gratifying. And I mean, there are just so many different ways to be generous. And
absolutely.
I
And I
like
think
that
that,
word
yeah. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
experience. I mean, I think as my children are getting older, all and my bonus kids and everybody, when it comes to the holidays and what would you like? Everybody wants an experience. We're like, let's do
Mm-hmm.
something, because
Mm-hmm.
we don't really need a whole lot,
Right.
and we pretty much have what we need. And what we do need, we can buy for ourselves, but you can't like buy time with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
or just to go and do something together. And you
Mm-hmm.
have those memories, and that being generous of your time
Yeah.
and have
And I
and
really,
those
yeah. Mm-hmm.
experiences really, it's the age old thing. When somebody is dying, they don't
Yeah.
think about the car. That car in the garage can't do anything for them. That beautiful house with the beautiful furniture can't do anything for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna, but that time you have with that person
Yeah.
is indispensable. That
Well, and that's one of the things that when Bryce was little, I said to him, I said, I'm not going to buy you a bunch of toys and a bunch of things that you don't need. We'll buy you things that you will utilize and use, but I would rather have life experiences with you where you have these memories of our time from your childhood. And I think that is tremendously important in not just with our children, but with all of our relationships. How can we gift each other more quality time, easeful
yeah,
quality time?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really to the strange concept. In order to keep it, you got to give it away.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's not even keep it in order to receive the new. I was reading
Well, yeah.
from a card from my roomie deck talking about the importance of, and this isn't exactly what it was saying, but it's what my heart received from it, which is the importance of um, gracefully allowing things to transition,
Mm-hmm.
allowing yourself to recognize when something no longer has energy for you, and being able to let it go with ease instead of holding on tight because I don't want this to end because I know this and this is mine. When nothing is ours, it's all the universe. It's all, and that here, the message is that when we are being generous, we are in the divine flow. And that's, she talks about the flow,
Mm-hmm.
being a river goddess working with water.
Right.
And we talk
Right.
about divine flow a lot, about how when we are in the divine flow, it feels very fluid and we're willing to ride the waves and the transitions and the movements of that water. And so when you think of Oshun, then it's about, okay, how can I be in divine flow and recognizing, okay, I can give here and know that more is coming. I really feel like it's an invitation for you all you goddesses out there listening, to take stock and awareness of where you have experienced this energy of of giving of yourself, of being generous, and again, as I was saying before, the recollections, the remembrances that I'm having are really, I think, my invitation to invite more opportunities for that to be given moving forward. So, just by taking some reflection and working this energy with Oshun of how have I already experienced Oshun working in my life, and where would I like to invite more of her in?
Exactly. I think I posted something to that effect yesterday, in about try a little experiment in giving something away each day
Mm-hmm.
and noticing how that feels. And
Mm-hmm.
if it felt like, oh, didn't really like getting rid of that, why was that? What attachment were you holding
Mm-hmm.
onto that? And then notice that energetic flow when you do release it out into the world. And
Well, and I
it
think this is
really is
actually a
beautiful.
really good time to share our upcoming event in November. So as we're moving into November, we really are working that energy of gratitude
Mm-hmm.
and living with a grateful heart. And living in gratitude helps you to have more joy for what you have, which then creates that doorway for more abundance to enter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just keep your eyes out. Coming at the beginning of November, we'll be announcing a beautiful week-long exploration with gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a karma yoga gift. We are giving it to you, so there's no fee attached to this week-long exploration, but it will be a journey that we will take together as a community in love and in gratitude. And thank you, Oshun, for reminding us the gift of being generous and how that opens our gratitude well even more.
Mm-hmm. And once again, it all starts here in the heart.
Yes, goddess.
That beautiful energy. Yes, goddess. It's a beautiful word to say. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Well, goddesses, we hope that this finds you at ease and peace on your journey. We do have an event coming next Friday. If you are interested, thank you, Shannon, for that message. Gratitude is one of my favorite tools for living a joyous life. Yes, yes, yes. We are meeting next Friday night for our next Journey with the Goddess, working with Morgan. So if you are interested in joining us, please check out the event. I will share it into the group again, just so that you have access to it over the next few days, or direct access to it. It's always there.
That's right.
We are really looking forward to exploring the energies of the beautiful goddess Morgan, and we look forward to sharing time with you if you are able to join us.
Absolutely. I love these explorations though. They are magical, and Morgan it reminds us of death and magic, and of course it's the Halloween Eve and a full moon and just all that fabulous stuff that we get to celebrate and participate in. So yeah, it's gonna be great. Yes.
All right, ladies, we will see you soon. Paige, as always, thank you for your time that you gift me every Wednesday.
Thank you. You as well. And everybody else who's out there watching now or later, we're grateful for all of you who make this group a wonderful place to be a part of. Yeah. Thank you for letting us share with you.
Thank you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Okay. Bye.